All right, hello and welcome to Angry Cow Poetry in the Rialto living room. We've got two special guests tonight, and I'm going to tell you a little bit first about how I met Calil, just cause. And I don't even know if you remember this or not. We met at 12 Literary Arts. Neither of us were performing. There were several different features that night. Danielle Nicole, Nikki Dixon, Adam Spell's Journey Blue off the top of my head. Yeah. And we were just talking, we just connected and we're chatting. And I ended up mentioning the video collection I do online, Outdoor Voices in the Indoor World. And he was like, yeah, I'm a poet. And I had no idea if Calil was a good poet or not. I just knew Calil was a good dude. And that was enough. Like, it was a great connection. He was a great guy. And then I got a chance to hear him perform, and through video, but also live several times. And Calil's fantastic. And I met Morgan, I think at Mixed Rose Fundraiser. I think was the first time I met you.
Yeah.
And so you jumped on the open mic there. I'd heard you a little bit. And then they put together, two of them and three others, put together what's called the Sparrow's Fortune, this group of fantastic poets. And they had their first, they've done several now, but they were doing their first event. And all five of them performing. And I knew some of them well, like from listening to their pieces. And there's some heavy hitters in this group, And so, like, I go in, like, I know how good Calil is at this point in time. I know how good Avery is. I know how good Mixed Rose is. And I barely heard Morgan. And it was one of the best events I've been to, just period. It was an amazing show. They flowed really well together. Different combination of pieces. It was just this really powerful night. And I didn't know what to expect from Morgan. I heard one thing or something at an open mic, and I'm like, can Morgan hang with these other folks when Morgan steps on the stage? Like, I don't know. Your questions need to be answered, right? And Morgan was as powerful as anyone that night. I mean, Morgan killed. All five of you killed that night. It was an amazing group. Follow them online. They'll tell you more about it. They're both incredible poets on their own. But just recently, they've released work they've done together. They've this amazing duo now as well. They just put out the first book, Bear in the Flesh, book together. They both have books separately. I'm sure there's some merch here. Check that out. Take some merch home. Cover design by Lacey Talley is awesome. And then also to go along with it, there's a spoken word album, which is fantastic. They can speak a little more to that too. But they recorded it in one long stretch with full band with them. The band didn't come in later. The band wasn't put on separately. Like, this all came together. So it was beautiful. It's on all your platforms out there. Go stream it, download it, whatever, if you haven't already. I'm really excited to bring two features to you tonight. I think you're going to love tonight. Please welcome to the stage Just C.O.S. and Morgan Paige.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing? Y'all cool?
Cool?
Y'all quiet. If y'all cool, say cool. Cool. There we go. So, my name is Just C.O.S. Just C.O.S. stands for Just a Collection of Seeds. So, I see my words as seeds, and I hope that as I perform today, they are planted into your hearts and they grow to be something beautiful. Of course, as Keith gave this wonderful, magnificent introduction, I'm accompanied by the great Morgan Paige. I want y'all to say, hey, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
I need y'all to give her some more energy. Say, hey, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
There we go. That's what I like. All right, cool. Run it up. So I'd like to introduce myself, and then we'll get into telling y'all about the book and the album and all the other cool stuff we do in a second. But I got this piece. It's called Lineage, and it goes like this. I was born into a long lineage of men who learned to be soldier before saint, who learned militance before mercy, who learned grit before grace. I come from a long lineage of men who put priorities over pain, who put seed over grain, who always choose freedom over chains. See, I come from a long lineage of hustlers. We grew up to steal before we starved. We grew up stargazing at fast cars, big rims, thin tires. We get tired just chasing them down the block. See, I grew up on the block. Let me tell it. I've been grown since I was 10. See, I come from a place that turns boys to men long before the end of the road, because sadly, most of us meet it before we turn the corner of 18. We never learn to get down on bended knee. No, we bleed. We bleed with our heads held high, I promise. We bleed with our heads held high. We are taught early about the price of our pride. You couldn't pry my heart open if you tried, my nigga, I promise. I promise he already died like 4 or 5 times. I come from a long line of ghosts. We be Lazarus. Or maybe God just be too lazy to kill us. We be too alive to die. We be too full of liquor to lie. We be too full of ourselves to cry. We be stoned and hearts be as callous as our hands. Our life path be stony. And from my perspective, quite lonely, but we don't trip. We don't trip over rocks. We kick them and keep it moving. See, I come from a long lineage of movers and groovers. We be groovy. We chew on ground and still manage to spit out the sound of music. I can only imagine how amused the angels must be and how we show resiliency so effortlessly. Simply being alive this very second is all the evidence we need to say we supersede the saturation of police policies and all the lies the media feeds us. And y'all, we still find hope to live another day regardless of how they treat us. You see, they label men like me. Y'all, they label men like me demons. Say, we don't know how to be decent. Say, not even Jesus can save us heathens, but good thing God's grace don't discriminate. Good thing heaven got a pocket for even men like me. See, I was taught, I come from a regime where repentance was only seen when mama took us to church. See, we was taught that God was too clean for our dirt. We were taught that God was too mean for our hurt. See, I was taught that church folks was too redeemed to never curse. But see, men like me, we refused to be showered in shame. So when it gets cloudy outside, we don't run home. We take it to the chin and walk in the rain. Cause see, not even lightning can strike out my name. I be Calil, James Cage. You just happen to call me just cause God still find it plausible to plant seeds around my pain. I get applause. Now I get applause and travel in planes just for breaking off pieces of my brain. But see, y'all, men like me not even supposed to see a stage. We be destined for an early grave or a life locked behind chains. But again, I thank God. Because every generation, I've learned how to survive regardless of the lies beside us falling to the wayside. Because see, y'all, men like me, y'all, live forever. That's that point. Cool. So yeah, that piece, thank y'all for rocking with me, man. So that piece is called Lineage, and originally I wrote it for our first show, as Keith was talking about, our first show on June 4th as the Sparrow's Fortune. So the Sparrow's Fortune is a collective of artists, and basically our mission is to inspire, educate, and encourage our community through arts, entertainment, and creative writing workshops. So we put on really cool poetry shows, and then we also do creative writing workshops for youth inside schools and after school programs, and we also do writing workshops for adults as well. We gotta bring one to Akron. I just thought about that. Yeah. But yeah, we do creative writing workshops because a lot of times the adult literacy reading rate in Cleveland is about 50%. So 50% of adults in Cleveland read at 7th grade reading level. And being able to tie culturally relevant literacy to adults is really important. And so that's what we do at the Sparrow's Fortune. So yeah, Lineage is actually on the album that Morgan and I created. And we're going to speak to it a little bit more as we talking through it. But basically, Lineage was a moment for me to just express who I was. It was kind of like a reintroduction. How this piece that I'm about to get into right now is called Just Cuz. But Lineage was a reintroduction into myself, and also I would say my challenge or my struggle with being a man, being a black man, coming from the hood, and then being introduced to this place where all of my identities kind of crash together as being a black man, being now not necessarily below the poverty line like I was when I was a kid, and doing that through my way of artistry and doing that through my career as an educator, as a youth advocate, all those other things and stuff like that. So, like I said, Lineage is kind of like my reintroduction, but this like my introduction. Cause y'all a new crowd. I know, I've seen a couple of y'all before. And some of y'all my homies, hey. But, yeah, so this piece called Just Cause, and this kind of, again, reiterates who I am and a large part of the reason I write and why I write. And, yeah, so go like this. J-U-S-T C.O.S. Yes, I be that nigga. The one to make nouns numb you, make verbs vibrate, make words turn to seeds, plant these in the soil of your heart. And in due time, I'll be back for harvest. I harbor these proverbs in my pocket. Pull lessons out of Lent. Lend wisdom and pay homage, cause being honest, y'all, I'm already spent. I be nothing more, nothing less than just a collection of seeds. You see, God uses my tongue to plant a wilderness of trees. He reigns over my sunshine, bloodline, and the spirit creates birth with a breeze. I just breathe. He reminds me that I be all but nothing. I mean, like, I be all but nothing. I mean, like, if I be anything, I be his. And as long as that be a true case, then my suitcase will lack nothing. I be traveling, frequent flyer. Not by plane, but by pigeon. See, this pen be my wings. We soar past stars and messages like the Messiah. You see, these parables be prophecy. I'm not a poet, I'm God's project. He been working on me for a while now. Finally, got my style down. Now I dial down my own triggers. Turned my trials into triumph. Turned my tongue into a trumpet. Then take a listen to these soliloquies. They be Shakespearean melodies. No, I don't sing. But it's instilled in me to paint pictures of my pain with the practice that God gifted me. You see, if his spirit be anything like Picasso, then I be the blue period. Sometimes uncertain, yet highly sought after, will never be fully understood until the end of this chapter. You see, he speaks, and I write. And as these mustard seed stanzas grow, I take flight and just hold on for the rise. He taught me how to ride the clouds, how to swing on the stars. He taught me to keep the sun close. Its warmth is the comfort I need for these brittle bones. And on days when I forget my wings, cause y'all, I just be barely afloat. I'm still learning how to walk on water, and man, I've drowned a few times. But even then, these seeds of mine keep multiplying and redefining his mastermind. The whale swallows me whole and reminds me to go after mine. See, I've been left behind. I've been sold for dimes, got traded in for lesser lines, but that's just how it goes sometimes when you're the chosen kind, like I'm from Joseph line. See, I just write it down. It's a ghost that rhymes, and that's a gift to me. So I humbly give my gift right back and wrap it tight under the evergreen and pray my history be a monumental measurement of his ministry. So don't forget him when you mention me, because all I be is just a collection of seeds. All but nothing. That's that piece. Alright, cool. If y'all cool, say cool. Cool, but yeah. Y'all was digging it? Is that cool? Yeah. Y'all kind of like my poetry just a little bit? Just a little tiny bit. Y'all was quiet right now. She don't need an introduction. Just look at her. She raw. I need y'all to say, hey, Morgan, one more time. Hey, Morgan. Y'all know how I feel about energy, so I need y'all to, hey, Morgan. Hey, Morgan. All right, cool. And real quick, so can y'all snap for me real quick? Cool. What about clapping for me? Can y'all clap for me? All right, quick. Can somebody say, damn, that's hot.
Damn, that's hot.
All right, cool. So if y'all like, and this don't go for just me and Morgan, but all of the talented poets, all the talented artists who gonna get up here today, I want y'all to like show them love. So if somebody say a line that's like, hey, this crazy, just tell them, hey, that's crazy. We still gonna respect what they saying, but we're gonna be like, hey, that's crazy for real. Or you can snap, you know what I mean? You can do a little, ooh, that's crazy. Y'all got it? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's start talking. Go ahead.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Hey, Gigi. Alright. This poem is called Traitor. I'll tell y'all about it when I'm finished. I done gave my best to all of you. My all to most of you. Did the most for more of you, and more still wasn't enough for you. You ungrateful motherfuckers and took all my stuff. all my happy, all my kindness, all my care, all my trust. You just took it and ran with it. And I, being too weak to chase behind and fight, but don't got nothing else left to give because I just had to let you have it. Me. I gave y'all me. I gave y'all me like me was just a little bit of something. I gave y'all me like me wasn't all I had. You wore my thoughts. Like I didn't just pick them out for you. Then you recited them back to me like I didn't just give you the blueprint. Y'all names was all in my prayers. I even paid same-day air for the sake of your soul so that your problems would cut in front of everybody else's, including mine. I paid that price fervently and did it with urgency because your pain was my pain. And your sad was my sad. And I was just as happy when you were because your happiness was my happiness. And then one day, I got the bright idea to go look in the mirror. And I could not recognize who was staring back at me. I had her eyes, his heart, her ears, his thoughts. And damn, I hated how all y'all shit looked on me. It didn't feel right, look good, feel good. I was a mess. Wearing all your headaches and carrying all your stress. And it's taking a lot out of me right now just to get this off my chest because I've been doing this shit for years. Falsely accusing people of taking from me. When I've been the one selling myself short. I'm the sellout, the traitor, wondering why I'm never chose yet and still never choosing me. Like it's all of y'all's fault. Like y'all did this to me. But it wasn't you. It was me. Thank you. So this poem, I wrote this in a period of time where I was starting to write more about myself and like journeying back into like my childhood trauma or just my young adult trauma and not realizing, you know, how we a lot of the time we blame other people for things that they're doing to us, but we teach them how to treat us. And basically it's calling myself a traitor because every time I said I wanted somebody to choose me, they never chose me because I never chose myself. So that's where that came from. I'm going to do the first poem I ever performed at an open mic. I didn't just start, but I started writing poetry again in 2019. I had wrote this poem in response to another artist, and this is my start back in my first time performing at an open mic, so this is the poem. It's easy to write about you. It comes natural, actually. See, you're one with nature. I'm kind of outdoorsy. I'm into nature. It's in my nature to want you naturally. See, I want to know you to the bone, unleash your soul, pour your all into me. Put your all into me. I want all of you. This is soul tie, but this ain't sin. What we doing now, this is raw. You showing me what God always wanted me to see. Love. And when I feel that, I act on it. I'm learning your language. You speak to me creatively, to my creativity. You speak to the higher me. Now higher me, let me employ feelings you ain't never felt before. I'd make you fall off of love. I'd make a fall out of love, pimper, set it out. You be bending corners trying to figure out what you gonna do for it. What you gonna do for love. And I don't have to acquire your lifestyle to love you like you need. No, baby, I love you through your ages, your changes, your stages, and your cravings. I love you like you're pregnant with my baby, and if the tables turn, I'd make you a husband before I make you a baby daddy. I'm speaking to the inner you, not potential. You are who you are. No need for an interview. I'm already feeling you. We soulmates, twin flames. If your fire burns out, I'll rub on your wood. We gonna get the spark back like spark plugs. My positives to yours, your negatives to mine. Our energy just keeps charging each other, and I want to ensure that my energy is healthy. So I'm giving you what's best of me, not what's rest of me or what's left of me. I'm fully charged. I'm whole. I see me in you. I see greatness, wealth, and abundance seeping through your skin. I see art oozing out of you. Reflecting on my past, yeah, I needed that. I needed them. They got me ready for you. I got needs in you. I plant my seeds in you. My follow-through is to water you. I want to see you grow within, with or without me. I'm selfless when it comes to you. I think about myself less when it comes to you. Thank you. out an album and a book. That song, well, that poetry piece was from my first EP that I put out. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, and everywhere you can stream music or poetry in this case. But yeah, so super excited to be here. Can't wait to hear everybody's art that does decide to share. If you feel inspired to come up here and share after you hear all of us, please sign up on the sheet. And yeah, thank you.
We're going to bring our features back up again. Then we're going to go to the open mic. We'll do one more break, and then the features will come one last time to close out the night. So please welcome back to the stage, Morgan, Paige, and Just Cause.
So we're about to get into the album, the book. We did 2 pieces earlier from the book album / show. Originally the pieces, the show, well, the album, the book, was a show at first. So we created it. We wrote for the past 3 months, from July to September, and then we performed the show in Columbus first, and then we performed performed in Cleveland. And pretty much the book, show, album is a relationship album. It speaks to relationships. So we start off with things that we went through in our childhood, in our young adult lives. Then we go into actually being together as a couple and how those things played a part in the trauma and the things we went through in our childhood plays a part in our dating relationship. So we're seeing like, oh, these things are spilling out at the seams because we actually don't know how to be in a relationship together. So it's like, how do we even fuse these things knowing what we know now about each other? And then the second part of the second half of the show is like the counseling part where we're able to address these issues that we had in our relationship and try to understand each other. And then the end is the healing part and how we've come together and are able to really thrive in a loving relationship. You think that's a good? Okay. Perfect. So we're going to do a poem that we wrote together. It's called We Cry Together. I'm here because I want to be better. I want to change the way I think. I want to change the way I react to everything I can't control outside of me. I want to get to the bottom of things. Find the root to all the causes of everything that's bothering me. I want to thrive in my relationships. Get rid of all this baggage and clear out all this heavy shit. That is why I'm here.
Over the years, I've come to know that I can't grow if I'm not properly watered. And as of late, I've been in the dry season. When I think about why I'm here, I can't only focus on just one reason. To say the least, I'm seasoned, salty. In other words, you know, I thought I'd always have something to say, but these days, my heartstrings have turned guitar, strung out and overplayed. It's time I finally tone myself down, tune in and hear somebody else out. For once, maybe for a lifetime if I can get this shit right.
The heavy shit, abandonment issues, self-sabotage, the relationship with my mom is just a start. All of these things play into how short-winded I can be, and how it's so easy for me to just pack my stuff and leave, or even how heated I can get when I can't control everything. People, situations, him. I shut down and isolate. Entitlement plays a part when I don't get my way. Sometimes I know I'm messed up because I don't often listen to what anybody else has to say. Other times I just keep quiet to keep my peace at bay.
If I was being honest, when I said that I'm starving, it's more than just food that I crave. I used to think it was the weed, the women I wanted, shit, the women that wanted me, the flash of lights, my face shining bright, my name headlining, my car catching speed. But to be real, I needed peace. To be real, I needed me, a nigga, too far gone from himself to believe he could get back. I needed to get deeper than the surface I scratched. All these wounds that I patched, still picking apart my past. She hit me, and I holler. Still a dog, gnawing off his own collar. Still struggle to call her when I'm struggling, but I'm fumbling. And I can't lose this time around.
And I refuse this time around to allow my hands to speak for my feelings. To not allow my arms the freedom to perform what it really wants. A hug. Not that it solves all my problems, but it offers understanding. I'm tired of pushing people away due to my lack of self-love. I'm ready to express, to relieve myself of the stress of all my mess. I'm ready to heal and stretch. Straighten out all the kinks that have chained me down long enough. I'm ready to break free, to become the woman I was destined to be. I'm ready to be me.
No longer allowing the monsters under my bed to continue to play trick or treat. Don't I deserve a love that isn't hidden, that isn't afraid of being seen outside the bedroom walls and underneath bedridden sheets? And doesn't she deserve something loud? Doesn't she deserve someone she could be proud of? For the majority of my manhood, I've been looking in the mirror, still seeing a boy, fighting myself to release all of these childish ass dreams and all of these mild-mannered ass schemes. I can admit that my motives and my past, they were provocative. Because I figured if I could live past 18, then what else was in reach? But I didn't realize I was only raised on survival. All I understood was rebellion or revival. I didn't know I could craft my own remedy of peace until I hit 23. I didn't know there was a whole world out there for me to see. And nowadays, I don't want it to just be me. I want a whole world where we can truly be we. I don't want to be blinded by my pain. I want to see
that I've finally gotten to a place where I can actually receive, a place where we can build on, where I place my trust to believe that love is not the furthest thing from my hands to reach. I worry if he'll hear me or draw back and retreat to other women when my needs seem too complicated to feed. It hurts me to express all of my feelings, to peel back all my layers, to be so revealing when I can't call. If I get too real, too bare, will I reach his peak or his ceiling? Cap his capacity of dealing with me. Will all I come with stop him from healing with me? Or will me in this fashion be unappealing to see?
I can't call it. Some days I throw in the towel just arguing with me. I don't believe I'm ready enough to receive all the nurturing she has for my seeds. I reflect on my deeds, and I still find myself washing dirt off my hands. And I'll be damned if I continue to be a child, only masking up to be a man. I still got feelings I don't show. Cause what if I'm too much? What if my vision for us is bigger than hers? And then again, what if it turns out that my vision for us actually isn't big enough? I've seen women run from my embrace. And I know my place. I know when it's time to cut the chase. I know when it's time to give it up. And even then, I know there's been days when love has reached out and I'm the one who strayed. But still I pray my strength in the Lord, because I know he won't give me up. And I've decided I won't be the man who tries to guide to have God don't give me clear direction. And at this point in my life, I can't be mad if he don't. But I'm here because I'm at least trying to see past our current imperfections. In a few years, I want to see a 3-year-old running around carrying our reflections. I don't want to be arguing. I don't want to be projecting. I don't want my words to become projectiles. She needs protection. And I just worry. I'll leave her neglected. Rest in peace.
All right.
Okay, so this poem, so a lot of the poetry that we do have together for the album and the book, some of it was already written. And we just went well with the book and with the album. So we're like, okay, or with the show, because it was originally a show. And went well with the show. We're like, okay, we put this here, and we kind of like mastered the show, that we produced the show that way. And then we started writing poetry. So this is a poem. It's called Flowers, or The Day I Died. And it's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll talk about it after I'm done. I've existed in this feeling many times, visiting back and forth to check and see if someone planted a garden for me, painfully daydreaming that someone would think enough of me to lay seeds, pat soil and pull weeds, a burden that no one made space to plant trees or honor my name and grow leaves for me. Where are my flowers? Sometimes it hurts to love with your eyes wide open, to always see love but never be seen, to be the very braille to the blind, yet your feelings are undermined, and you pray your best to love people better, but you at the end of every line, and somehow you just don't catch the signs to see That gardens like flowers are given in remembrance, but never in your hands to keep. What's a girl like me gotta do to get some flowers? Die. Rest in peace. Buy your own damn flowers and plant your own damn seeds. Die to the expectation that someone might meet your needs. Die. Rest your weary heart. Don't be so free. Stop pouring so much only to see rivers of your tears holding the debris of your broken heart and hurt feelings. Begging for love when you could plant flowers in your own garden for free. So what you gotta do to get some flowers, sweetheart? You gotta die to those feelings, baby. Rest in peace. Thank you. So I wrote that poem on Valentine's Day in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, all my friends were just talking about Valentine's Day, and I'm not even a big holiday person, but for some reason I was super like sad that day. I'm like, I don't have no Valentine. I hate men. Period. So that's just where it was at. And I was like, and I just wrote that poem, and it just came like easy. It was like 5 minutes, and I wrote that poem, and that is that. So thank God for poetry.
All right, cool. So she wrote that poem on Valentine's Day 2021. I wrote this poem on my birthday, actually. I actually didn't write this on my birthday. It was like sometime around my birthday, though. I like being inspired, like, by poets, and like Mo, like, ever since me and her got cool, like, she's inspired, like, a large sum of some of my poetry, for real. And so that was called The Day I Died /Flowers. And so this is The Day I Died /Flowers Part 2. And if you listen to the album, available on all streaming platforms, it's actually on one track, and it's just called The Day I Died. So yeah, y'all heard what she said, right?
Yeah.
Because what she said is very imperative to what I said. All right, y'all got it?
Got it.
All right, cool. I pray you come to know you don't have to die to receive life. You don't have to die to receive my love. You know, flowers aren't the only thing you're worthy of, but you do deserve a bouquet every day. My pockets just ain't set up that way just yet. I'm still working on it. Witnessing you work on yourself, it's inspiring because you know when to ask for help. It's been years, and I've still been trying to do this alone. Our recent conversations have encouraged me to conquer my fears of building a home. After everything you've shown me, I don't want to do this on my own. Building a legacy takes more than just one pair of legs, and I've been doing logistics, trying to figure out how I can lend you mine. I've been stiff on lending love, but you investment of a woman, I lend you my spine. For these last few months, I've been saving up for you my time, and you add interest. No, really, like, you've added interest or more than interested. I'm thankful we've intersected. You know, this life of mine has been more than hectic. I've been hindered by this thing we call trust. I've been hazed by this thing we call commitment. But you give me more than just 13 reasons to at least try. I don't want you to have to die. To know you deserve to be planted. To know you deserve to be handled with care, and to think. That's the only reason I've been scared. See, I do so well nurturing my plants. But when it comes to holding a hand, I forget how to dance. I forget how to dig deeper. See, you have roots. I want to water, but some days I don't feel worthy, and it's fucked up. Because you weren't the one to hurt me. My therapist said I'm still suffering from trauma. I close my eyes and still see visions of my pops and my mama mangled against bedroom walls. I still hear my last girlfriend's voice from that phone call telling me we won't be having a child after all. I still feel hands on my chest from women who said they'd catch me when I'd fall. And you telling me I can skydive into your arms. You telling me our love can be a parachute. I'm trying to keep my hope alive, but I keep seeing myself smack the ground. I want to know what it's like to live with you, but I keep seeing myself die, and maybe that's what it'll take to give you the nutrients you need, to recycle new life into your seeds. Maybe I'm the one who needs to die, to give you room to bloom, to finally have the wherewithal to nourish your roots. Maybe I'm the one, but don't you die. Don't you die thinking love don't deserve you. Boom. But yeah, so that poem again, like listening to, I think sometimes when you meet somebody and you hear like the work that they have, I feel like poets, like people who are creators, like it's something magical when the things inside of you are created and birthed into something outside of you, for real. I don't have kids, but I can only imagine what it's like to look at a person that you made, like, hey, you for real came from me. That's kind of weird, for real, for real. And I think that's the magical thing about being a creative when it comes to words, when it comes to art, when it comes to photography or anything like that. And so being able to even build off of what somebody else has is really cool. And that's why Bear is so important to me, because it's like we were able to learn about each other and then build off of that. And like we created that show, and like the show was raw. You know, it's kind of weird. This is like a side note. It's kind of weird when you like talking to people and people start crying. It's like, can you not do that right now? Like, it's kind of weird for real. But it kind of showed me like, like it kind of showed me like the importance of why artistry matters, for real, for real. Because I think there's a connectivity that happens, and even hearing Morgan's words on Flowers or The Day I Die, it penetrated into me to be able to write the piece that I wrote, for real. And so creating the show and then ultimately seeing the show matriculate into an album as well as a book, it was magical, for real, for real. And so right here I got the book. We got a couple copies right there. We also are authors outside of this book. I have a book called Evolving When Love Has No Reality. She got a book called A Quarter of My Thoughts, as well as Butterflies Rest. And yeah, we authors and whatnot. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. But so yeah, this book, it holds all of the poems that's on like the album. So like you can listen to the album and do a little read along session. But there's also like excerpts in here that kind of describe where we were when we wrote the pieces, how we felt when we wrote some of these pieces. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. And we'll see y'all after the open mic then. So I appreciate y'all for listening, man.
All right, one more time. Let's give it up for Morgan, Paige, and C.O.S. Next to the stage, Dimaya, I'm going to call up. Where are you at now? That's right. You moved. I'm like, you're not there. My brain is like, that's where you were when you signed up. Please welcome to the stage, Dimaya.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
So, I just want to preface this by saying I've only been writing poetry for about a month and a half.
Woo!
That's lit.
Right.
I performed for the first time exactly a week ago today, so definitely got the butterflies going. But I started because I wanted to turn something that was codependent, expressing my emotions, into something that was more self-sufficient. So that's kind of what this is. I was reminiscing about someone that I really should have been thinking about. That's why I wrote about it. So this one's called My Best. Damn. I'm sitting here looking at this text and wondering why I gave you my best. I still can't wrap my head around the mess that was us, you see. We'd fuss and fight, really, I mean you'd cuss and I'd cry, hurt by your lies and text messages I'd find, or the lack of time you'd allot to me. Could it be? Your love never ran as deep as me, yours shallow like a puddle, while mine deep as a sea. Baby, my love is serene and crashes over your spirit like waves. What was hard about letting my love embrace you? You had an obsession with making me your possession, expressed in the way you spoke to me. Suddenly, there was an issue with my company. And don't let them have a story of how they saw you disrespecting the relationship we were in when you flirted in the face of another woman. Shouldn't I be the one upset? But you're saying, nah, I bet, and holding the thread of you leaving over my head, and like water, apologies flow from my lips and tears fall from my eyes like rain from the sky. Because who am I when I'm not by your side? And I can't think of another time where I was happier, because our lows are low, but our highs are so damn high. And I feel like you're my compass, because without you I'm lost, but with you I'm able to find my peace of mind. You have such a hold on my heart that it bleeds, which is why my frustration is now turned to pleas, asking you not to leave, even if it means you don't fulfill my needs. Now I'm the problem. When I'm coming to you trying to solve them, all my insecurities coming to the surface. If you love me, why do you make me feel so worthless? Was love supposed to hurt this much? And after all that, I'm still craving your touch. Years after the fact, feeling like I did too much, and now love has become such a demanding task. But I've given up on asking for closure. Instead, I'm stuck with the question, why did I give you my best? I just finished that one today. I wrote it yesterday, so thank you. I'm going to share one more. This is like my third poem I ever wrote. About the same person. I have a lot of content about this person. But yeah, and it's just kind of asking myself how I keep finding myself in the same situation and why I can't learn from my lessons. It's called How Do I Get Here? Or How Did I Get Here? How did I get here? I find myself laying in your arms wondering how it was that I allowed myself to become the very thing I told myself I didn't want to be. How do I explain that I didn't intend just to be another person you slept with? No, it's interest that led me to this bed tonight. How did I get here? Laying in the comfort of not knowing if you value me or my body, my mind or my figure when it's underneath you, see. I found security in knowing my frame was desired at all. Accepting that the context would shatter whatever self-love I had left, hungry for any reciprocal warmth, real or fake. I'd rather not know the rest of the story. How did she get here? History repeats itself, this time reminiscent of another. A love with so much to prove and a partner unreceptive to anything other than a physical touch. And what she had wasn't enough to offer. She gave until she had nothing more. Her love, physical and spiritual, like never sufficient. And her eyes and spirit devalued. How can she explain that her love ran deep once? Her arms and heart opened far faster than her legs did, but there was never a need for it. She was used to them tripping over themselves for her frame, never her mind, never her goals. Why wouldn't she believe her value only amounted when she laid under a man? Actions spoke louder than any words, and the narrative's always been the same. How did I get here? That's it.
Right. I think you need to keep writing that. It's sounding great. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, we have a few more up here. Next, there was a Temple of Passions event, Music to Poetry, not too long ago. All right, so there's a Temple of Passion, a music to poetry event where poets are coming up in a slam, in a head-to-head, or in a battle, and performing with music that they've selected. And Mixed Rose was there that night and killing it. But Mixed Rose was not alone in killing it. It ended in a tie because they were both so incredible that no one was willing to break this tie. Please welcome to the stage, Shook.
So I'm gonna do two poems. The first one I wrote for my brother. He suffers from mental illness. And I try to jailbreak it for him, if you understand what that means. But this called Po' Boy. I wrote this for my brother. Po' boys, brown boys, and little boy blues. You buy a Po' man, a brown brother, I bet he'll sing you a tune. I said, Po' boys, brown boys, and little boy blues. That ain't no Po' man. That's a rich nigga sitting on the moon. And a man's soul got trapped on a boat. I mean, sky as far as the eye can see. And the captain's quarters, well, that ain't no place for a Po' boy to be. Po' boys still paying pain. Po' boys been coming around my porch since they called me by my grandma name. I've been pushing prayers ever since I could tie my shoes. Watching grandma fix a man plate and then begin to tighten his screws. Natural born healer, dealing God, a remedy you ask. Well, a little salt, a little taste, a little time. Grandma say it's like going fishing in a man's mind, nursing a sleeping man awake. Bait him with a hot plate, safe, quiet, warm place to stay. Your daddy was a po' boy. Your mama loved po' boys. I mean, she soothed the blues right out his eyes to see the magic in a man deprived and then come alive is to watch the alchemist flow current. Currently correcting order up at 4 a.m. in the morning, watching the weather. God send me a sign, God send me a number, God send me a letter. A sweet little poem, sweet little poem, sweet little prayer. Be careful yourself not to break a levee. See, prayer work can weigh on the heart and become heavy, but sometimes it's gonna have to rain, cause po' boys ain't been coming around my porches these days. Summer slumber, awaken a hungry hunter, a po' boy party and pop a white girl, cause her daddy cursed your skin. But one day we gonna set the table and feast in the lion's den, cause I too am America. Choose your character, Indian giver, in blackface, hiding behind a foreign man's sin. Always your savior, sometimes your lover, sometimes your friend, sometimes the light you guided by, sometimes an angel sent to testify. Po' boy, go around that back porch and get a mother some time. Po' boy, go around that back porch and just talk to God. Po' boy, go around that back porch, take your shoes off, put your coat on the hook. Go around that back porch while I run and fetch my prayer book. Sun gazing in front of heaven gates. Rose garden covered in uncharted terrain. And your little sister feeding you magic in these breadcrumbs. Hoping solitude to just show you the way. A little birdie whispered in my ear. Every man has his own path. Every man at his own pace. And this is a channel message. Set to arrive 3 years, 3 hours, or 3 months from today. Enlightened ones understand what's understood don't need to be explained. Pay attention to the message conveyed. Pay attention to the karma you make. See, the reaper man out here just reaping men. Just for you to go and be recycled again. And you just been painting over the footprints of angels that been tap dancing on your ceilings. Rebirth for the Renaissance. It's blues in the street. Jordan's hung on telephone lines, but the real river's in me. I rap my hijab and Ramadan is beat. Burn your sundown town downs, wait for night to feast. Rob you of your silver, weld them the keys, hand them to po' boys. Tell them next time, watch the company you keep. They start talking practice round 12:30. Duck, it's a demon, po' boy. That's a goose on your head. And these ain't po' boys walking, these guys misled. But God got granddaughters posted at every station, anticipating when to break fast and when po' boys gonna come around that back porch with his own torch. Lit by sauce, ready to settle scores, reneging, talking across the board to the ancestors like, I got a rich nigga spirit. I ain't no po' boy no more. Po' boy, go around that back porch and get a mother some time. Po' boy, go around that back porch and just talk to God. Po' boy, go around that back porch, take your shoes off, put your coat on the hook. Go around that back porch while I run and fetch my prayer book. All right, well, this next poem, I guess I wrote it for myself. I put my pride aside for the 6 names I gotta give back to God. And I'm tired. Tired of lining raincoats in they rainbows, putting prayers in they pocket just in case. A 15-minute pace to ask the ancestors to guide the way. And I promise this time my seeds won't die. See, I got friends on the other side. I'm talking soul bonds, karmic transgressions, ancestors possessed and faith been tested, restored and rested, walking message, blood tie, free falling into the arms of God on a divine mission. Me and my sisters, ascension of the descendants with unfinished business pending, moving according, taking account, sorted through the Jews and the Judas, shepherd and the sheep, 30 pieces of silver cast at my feet, but my price is God. See, he'll edge the sea and move the current closer to me. Go to the top. Tell the Father I sent you. Tell him we still out here forming circles like they said. And in the middle of the storm is where we finding clarity and spares in the air. On the western in that guided position. Soul cries less dense. Karmic cycles on rinse. Blessings catching. Readers in the room ciphering through the ill wills and pure intents. Affirmations. Line up on your knees in formation. Open your mouth and confess. Eat these words, they gon' digest. See, I'm protected by the vest. Starting crescents on my neck. Shield, sword, and the vest. I tagged and bagged all my vices. Gave the devil a bow and arrow. Stretched out my arms. Told him aim for my chest. I trust God. Why would I ever fear death? See, this moment is crucial and only a humble be pivot. Sugar water babies flying over the crowns, pollinating the living. Politicking with an angel waiting to pay God a visit. Watching the elders' feet. Watching the elders' feet. You disrespectful niggas, be quiet while the elders speak. Napping at the roots, swinging from the elders' tree. Pulling on the cloak of God, sitting at an elder's knee. See, who out here doing the healing? I can feel the energy in the room already lifted. I can feel the paradigm shifting. Busting through doors, standing on tables. What you got on my 40, homie? Kids gotta eat. Mama ain't break the curse, still her glory gon' live through me. Fathers, feathers flocking on my back, giving me an inch I can't reach apparently. God is appearing in me, coloring my skies, kissing my cries, telling mama that not to worry. She'll be coming along. Most high awakened sleeper agents on day 7. Lucky me paying reverence, pushing these prayers into perfection. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a couple pieces for 2 different reasons. The first, because it's brand new and I'm still kind of working on it. I just want to actually say it and get it out there. And another one, I'll tell you the reason on that in a second. This one was inspired, my buddy that many of you know is not here, and I'm house sitting. And I have no idea why he trusts me to house sit. Not because there's very limited jobs. Like, he got no pets, he's got his plants. And if you look at these plants, I have not house sitted for him once. I've not house sitted for him twice. Repeatedly, every time he leaves, I'm house sitting. And these plants, as you'll find out in the poem, are not doing well. So this is called watering dead plants. And as I'm sitting there looking at these dead plants, it kind of put me in the mind of how poorly I am taking care of these plants and how poorly, as a species, we are taking care of this planet. I stopped to water dead plants today. Out of obligation or hope, I'm still not certain. Could the water somehow restore the withering, shriveling leaves? Could the stems, like Jack's beanstalk, once again reach longingly towards the sky? I sit in the memory of how they once stood strong before suffering the consequences of human hands. How I watch them barely clinging to life. And I wonder if this apartment is just a reflection of the world outside. Can our forests grow through the gaps in our disdain, our destruction? Can they outlast our smoke, our smog, our fires and chainsaws? Can they bend beneath the weight of our insatiable quest for cheeseburgers? Will we have a future where the leaves are still green? Or will we be left like this apartment where only the cactus survives? Will we create a climate where only the ones designed to withstand the scorching heat and the scarcity of fresh water remain unscathed, while the rest of us fall like these dead leaves? I do what I can. I water dead plants. Out of obligation or hope, I'm still not certain. Appreciate that. Thank you. So, thank you. This next piece, I guess I'll tell you the background on it first. When COVID first hit and the world shut down, and I had time on my hands, and I needed to get out of the house, but you couldn't go anywhere, I started walking the street. Just walking my neighborhood, walking down the street, and I was going for miles, like every day, more than 100 straight days, which my streak kept up, but it didn't. But for a long time, I'm walking the street. And during this time, George Floyd was murdered by police, and we all watched. And on one of my walks after that, there was the remnants of roadkill, but the animal was gone. It was just the blood, just like lingering there on the street. And this piece started playing in my head. And I'm performing this weekend in North Carolina. A good friend of mine is putting on a really cool show I get to be part of in North Carolina. And there's a dancer, Ungraceful Jay. We've performed together at the same events before, but we've never performed together at the same time. And Jay is choreographing something to go with this piece. So now it's important that I know it, like in memory. It's important that I don't miss things because someone is choreographing a dance, and if I do the wrong section at the wrong time, it might not mess me up, but it's not going to be good for Jay. So that's coming up on Sunday. So I'm going to try this piece and see if I've got it memorized, see what I need to work on. It's called Beneath the Tide. There is blood on the street. Blood now smeared on jogging shoes and a $20 bill. There's blood on the street and it coats toy guns and Walmart purchases and legal gun permits. There is blood on the street and it seeps over all 5 flavors of Skittles. There is blood on the street where paid executioners awaiting the next neck sharpen the blades of their guillotine. There is blood on the street and our tires continue their rotations as if it were but a minor inconvenience. There is blood on the street and it covers the tears. Please, vomit, and finally silence of Elijah McClain's open-faced ski mask. There's blood on the street and it has left indelible stains on Grandma's backyard. There is blood on the street collecting until it flows like a river. A river so deep that many are sucked under its current, gasping for a final breath. There is blood on the street, the rapids crashing through windows and doors of presumed safety. There is blood on the street that fails to signal for a lane change as it devastates a Wendy's parking lot. There's blood on the street, a river of blood beneath the valleys of indifference and intimidation. There's blood on the street cutting a canyon of pain and suffering and lost childhood. There's blood on the street and it has sullied our unwashed hands. There is blood on the street, but even as the evidence pools at our feet, many continue to deny the existence of bloodstains. There is blood on the street, but some cry how we need to protect the asphalt. There's blood. There is blood. There's blood on the street. Thank you so much. All right, we have one more poet coming up to the mic, unless I missed somebody or someone late is jumping on. I know I didn't ask everybody. So Michael is a regular here. Michael doesn't always even know what Michael is going to say. Michael's poetry involves a lot of improv. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know what you're going to get tonight, but Michael might not even know what you're going to get tonight. But it should be entertaining. Please welcome to the stage, Michael. And Michael brings props.
Keith is very accurate. I know the name of this poem. I have a bunch of ideas as to what might go in it, but I know the name of the poem. It's late, July 4th, 2023, so they say. I'm tired. Been driving a long time. Some nice people. The air is filled with smoke. Kind of looks like fog. Smells like America. I pull over to the side of the road in a part of Cleveland that some lady at a gas station informed me was the hood and that I should be careful. I pull over to the side of the road and there's a tree stump. A dead plant, if you will. I water it because I have to take a piss in East Cleveland on July 4th, 2023. Dear black people, I mean no offense by pissing on your stove. There are no bathrooms for people like me. We get back in the car. A couple more rides. Ooh, $10 bonus. I should ride at least one more. And I get to an auspicious number. 3354 something other avenue, and I decide, yeah, it's time to go home. The name of this poem is The Human Statue. It goes something like this. For about the 5 years after graduating from an upstanding liberal arts university, this was my day job. I was a self-employed living statue called the 8-Foot Bride, and I love telling people I did this for a job because everyone always wants to know, who are these freaks in real life? Hello. The Moot Man hears these words echoing in his head, the words of a lovely woman, a woman that, if you've been around him at all, he has shoved her name down your throat. Apologies. Hopefully you're good at avoiding tic-tacs and jawbreakers. Amanda Palmer, the 8-Foot Bride. The Moot Man, he likes to stand around. He does not put a hat at his feet. He does not carry flowers. He doesn't ask for your money. He doesn't particularly expect your gaze. He cannot speak. He cannot scream. And so he stands on a piss-covered log in the hood in Cleveland on July 4th. And in his mind, he imagines a poem. Hello, presidents of the United States of America. You're America. I heard you say it. I'm America, and so can you. He hears Stephen Colbert echoing in the back of his mind. He understands that in the course of human events, when something about tyranny and something about everything sucks, you need to change things, you need to fix it up, you need to take responsibility for the government unto yourself. Because the Moot Man knows one thing that is true. Dante Alighieri said, on the gates of hell, going down into hell, it said, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Well, if you turn around and you look at the gates leading up to heaven, it says, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. He knows that hope is the deepest sin you can commit, and that is why it's exactly so powerful and so necessary. If you're hoping someone else is going to plant your garden for you, well, it's going to wither and die. But if you become that hope, and you join in the union of life with your brothers and sisters, you can abandon that other kind of hope. You'll smell it on the breeze. You'll remember that, yeah, we want things to get fucking better. That when there's blood in the streets and they take a black man into custody and say, he shot that cop because he's black and he's powerful and he's strong, and they lock him away for 25 years and throw away the key and throw away his name, and you don't know who he is. Mum's the word, and Mumi Abu Jamal sits in prison, but he does not rot. He is a free man encaged in this world of ours. Are we ever going to do anything about that? Are we going to stand up and be like, we let him out now? I sometimes think that it might take a little more than delivering poems to create the more beautiful world our heart knows is possible. He hears the bard say, the Moot Man arrests himself. Please take me where you're keeping my brother. My brothers and my sisters. But they cannot hear him because he has no vocal cords. He cannot scream. He cannot speak. He lies down next to his brothers, the cigarette butts, says, "How was your day today?" And they say, "It smells kind of familiar." And I'm like, "That makes sense. You're probably kind of used to this smell. It smells like an ashtray out tonight." The flowers keep blossoming in the sky, and I think they look kind of lovely. The Moot Man, constituent member of the United States, presides presidentially, wonders. Will you preside as well? Sure, that's good.
Please welcome back to the stage, Just Cuz and Morgan Paige.
Hey y'all!
Hey!
We back one more time. You know what I mean? Taking one for the 99 2000s. Yeah, so we're gonna do these last two poems, and then like we're gonna say like some other poems from our other works and all that good stuff. But so I'm gonna preface this poem because this is one of my favorite poems to this day. And I wrote this poem. I love this poem because for a long time, like saying love poems, it wasn't difficult for me. But I think that the experiences that I had when it came to relationships, I wasn't writing happy poems. I wasn't writing happy love poems. I wasn't writing poems that was like, this made me feel like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all ever get a person that make you feel like, That's what this poem did for me, for real. And it was fun because I didn't necessarily have a muse when I was writing. Like, I was just sitting at the open mic, and I was like, I want to give you like, so sometimes when I write, I just say stuff out loud until something sounds nice. Yep. And so I was like, I want to give you, and I'm like, bro, what can I get to somebody? And I was like, duh, you can get them babies, so it just makes sense for me. So, yeah, this poem goes like this. I want to give you babies, like a lot of them. I want to see you whipping in the kitchen, hair tied, apron on, like I want a pile of them. See, my wrist work cold, and I think you just as chilly. See, I'm from the Windy City, I blew in from around the way. I used to be Rolling Stone, but you be brick. You make me stay. I want to build the foundation so you can lay just about anything on my chest. Your worries, your cares, your hands, your lips, your face, your love. I want you to lay on me on your lazy days. Yeah, I'ma need that too. Actually, I'm cool if you want every day to be lazy for you, but I just know you're not one of them. That's why I'm trying to make you one of me. Like I'm trying to make you the sum of me. I can't see us being divided, girl. I'm trying to make you one with me. It's only right we multiply. Only right you make a few sons with me. I mean, like, if you got some years to spare, you might as well spend some with me. Like, maybe like 20, 30, maybe even like 50 or 60. Our price go up. The longer you with me, I can definitely see mine going up with you. You look through my eyes, and you'll see billboards being put up with you. See, when I say babies, I don't mean just humans. I mean like businesses too. Let's make birthmarks and the trademarks. I'm gonna merge our stocks. I want you pregnant with my dreams, and I'll carry yours too. Full term, no stillbirth. I'm talking alive and well. You put me under a spell. The way you spell out my name, don't you hear it? Don't you hear how good Cage sounds next to yours? I'm way too intentional. I want to make sure I pour all of my primer into your paint, baby. Baby, let's paint the town. And then, let's paint a house. And when the kids turn 18, we don't even got to kick them out. Let's just give them one of ours. I think of you, and I think of flowers. I think of you, and I think of making a garden of yours, mine, and ours. Because, baby, you be. Yeah, baby, you be my baby, like my first one. You know, I thought I had 3 or 4, but I think you my first love.
And this poem was just in reply to that one. I want to give you love, like a lot of it. I want to be where you plant your seeds like the plot of it, or maybe be a part of it. See, I be so black woman, so receiving, and you just a collection of seeds. You be so giving when I be needy, turns out you need me. See, I be the support from your dream spring. There when they break through the surface, I'm talking seedlings. My wordplay kinda crazy. And that's since you was just as passionate. See, I liked your particular cadence because I heard the grit from your past and it made sense. Your vulnerability was a makeshift. You the kind who can shapeshift. The kind of nigga who transforms his pain through passion when he could have been an ain't shit nigga who blames his present on his past because he can't quit being tied to the nigga from his past. Now, that's an ain't shit nigga. You blew in from the Whitney City, rode your stone down to Ohio. Well, I'm from the capital, a little down the way. I heard you stayed here too, like around the way. You was a cold one. Me too. But now you get the summer me. I want to give you love like a lot of it, like the sum of me. Did you know that your price goes up when you add unto me? Furthermore, how your stock just went up because you gained the sum of me. I'll add some understanding in there too so we don't spoil this. I like to get my hands dirty too, in case you tired of toiling. And babies, we gonna oil them. We gonna anoint them with our gifts, we gonna spoil them. Have you ever heard the song Pushin' P? It go like Pushin' P, like push the P out of Paige, then add the C, cause Cage just compliments my name so well and well. I'm trying to turn your last name up by a few degrees. I want to give you a lot of things like buildings and properties. Well, let's add a few hundred acres of land so we can start building properly. Thank you.
She raw, isn't she? Yeah. Y'all gotta be like, Morgan, you so raw. Y'all gotta say it. Y'all gotta be like, Morgan, you so raw. Morgan, you so raw. Hey, I love doing that, bro. Don't listen to people who got the microphone, okay? Because I'll be at Poetry Unplugged telling people to just say whatever, and people will be saying it like, bro, please don't do that. All right, cool. So I got some poems from my book that I don't normally share, but I feel like sharing them today because y'all the family. That's cool with y'all?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this book is called Evolving When Love Has No Reality, and basically inside of this book, I go through like 4 different relationships that I had experienced, and then ultimately those last 2 chapters of kind of rebuilding myself, what it means to be single, a single man, and rebuilding my relationship with myself, but more importantly, rebuilding my relationship with God. And kind of coming to understand what love is and how to embody love versus have it just be a feeling for real. You can say you love somebody and you only think of it being a feeling because I feel this way right now, but like the older I've gotten, the more I've come to understand, like, no, you could live love for real, and that love, although platonic, it don't have to stay in the bounds of, oh, these are the only things I can do for this person. I could look out for my brother the same way I look out for my loved one, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I got these like 3 poems I'm gonna spit. They on the shorter end of things. Maybe, I don't know. Y'all know how random go for them. But this poem is called Scared. I'm scared. See, my heart is not fully. Hey, I just want y'all to know, I wrote this in 2017. I had just started writing, so I just want to I'm scared. See, my heart is not fully furnished with the best furniture, so therefore it's almost impossible to live inside me. And neither is hers. 2 houses, side by side, the door wide open and the windows without blinds. We met each other airing out. Just as she was about to close the door, I crept in and made it my home, and she did my house as well. A complete stranger, yet we knew each other in past lives. However, I'm scared about the past life she's kicked out. I'm scared of how many times she's moved or renovated and changed the locks. I wonder how many rocks were thrown at her windows and how many times her bloody carpet had been switched out. I was horrified. The night she whispered, I love you. I grabbed her and whispered, thank you for saying it so I don't have to. Because on the inside of my mind, I screamed, I love you too. But see, that's something I told myself I'd never do. So see, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. But she's terrified. Because just like her, she knows that I've lied too. She knows right behind her are a row of women who I've lied to, Don't get me wrong, I never tried to. I didn't believe that fat meat was greasy, but I learned, just like every other nigga, I liked my chicken fried too. She's terrified, because she knows goddamn well that two black hearts can never paint a vanilla sky. Because she knows goddamn well that two houses being renovated should never be occupied. She's terrified, because she knows about how often I've changed the locks. She knows how many rocks I've thrown through windows, and how many times my own have been shattered. How many times my walls have been battered and sprayed with graffiti. She's scared, because she knows how many times I've lost keys, and how forgetful I can be of where home is. And just like me, she's scared, because she loves the house she's found a home in. The one thing we both learned is that the more you travel, the more you realize that fear makes strangers out of people who should be the best of friends. Boom, that's that one. Cool. This is a short one. It's called The Things They Carry, Part 2. I love having parts to poems because, you know, life just builds on itself for real. Alright. Have you ever tried to scrub the taste of someone off your tongue? Sprayed yourself down with insecticides to stop them from crawling under your skin? Went through chemotherapy just to rid your blood of their trace? Have you ever had someone so embedded in your head you had to go through brain surgery to pull out the tumor of memories they left behind? So cancerous, yet so benign. Such a huge part of the past, yet such a small moment in time. Have you ever tried to erase time? Once wrote names in ink, now trying to wipe them out, but life is no sheet of paper. You'll never be able to crumple up chapters of this book and throw it away. This is a classic novel, a bestseller, awarded the Coretta Scott King Book Award. It has countless volumes. It is a sickness you'll never get rid of. That's that one.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I got this section in my book called Anger. So it's the fifth chapter is called The 5 Stages of Grief. And basically I go through like these different series of poems that was like anger and denial and acceptance. And so these two, I mean, I said I was gonna do 3, but this not especially got me. I'm laughing right now looking at it. So yeah, each section has a certain amount of poems that kind of speak to anger or speak to bargaining, etc., etc. So this piece is called Not Special, then the other one's called Cinema. And I want y'all to know, I'm not, well, I won't say I'm not great, but there was a moment in my past where like I was very like not a good person for real. And so that's where this one come from. It go like this. You're not one of one. You more like one of 5. Which means like it's 4 other versions of you on my phone who I talk to on the daily. Don't play with me. I'm not that nigga who gonna baby you. I'm not gonna debate with you about your place in my life. Let's just take it in strides. Let's run. And if you can't strive with me, then you don't have to ride with me. I don't want you to die for me. I just want you to live. But apparently, you don't know what that is. For years, I've been taking care of this life on my own, and you being here or gone don't make a difference. Yeah, I'm different. And you know that. That's why you want to be in the picture. My little baby who gonna listen like Kodak. I get it. But see, this ain't that. It takes a minute for this film to load, and truth be told, I don't know if your face gonna show up. That's that point. So like, yeah, I wrote that because I was mad. I was mad at this person because I felt like, y'all ever have a person in your life who like you really do rock with, but like they don't contribute the way they think that they contribute to your life. Do that make sense? Mm-hmm. And maybe we've been that person. Maybe we've been that person who like, dang, I thought I meant, or I thought I was doing more for you than I actually am for real. So that's where it came from because I was upset. I was also upset in this one because it was this girl that I really, really liked. And she started liking this other dude. I'm like, girl, I'm not even finna play with you like that. Cinema. I don't do front row seats. I've had my fair share of watching this movie play time and time again. I've seen my lover hold hands with another person they've chose while cheesing in pictures, posing in perfection while I choke on my pride. I've tried to keep my cool, waiting for my turn in the camera shot, waiting for my turn to share my love. Try my hand at playing my role in your life. Try holding your attention, but I'm not one to wait around anymore. I'm not one to stay and play peekaboo whenever you're ready to. I'm worth more than a short dance and a glass of wine or two. I'm worth more than a short glance and spending a night or two. I deserve something large. I deserve something like a legacy. I'll never ask you to move your legs for me, so I'll move mine. Over time, I've learned to create my own ecstasy. No longer posting pictures just for my ecstasy, I've elevated. No longer motivated to mention the need for a muse. No longer amused by melodies that remind me of how blue I could be when I'm not next to you. You sent the old me mail, but he's moved. That fool don't live here no more. It wasn't even about knowing my worth. It was more so about knowing yours. At a point, I was willing to lose everything in order to gain your score. Break my back every day, grinding to pay for these sins I could barely afford. I've never adored anybody else that much before. Believe me, I'm torn. But my imagination's film is ripped, and I've lost my scripts. This isn't the movie I ever thought I'd walk out on. But I got better scenes to make. I got other shots to take. I got bigger roles to play. I surprise myself these days because standing behind the camera used to fit me so well. But I guess that's what they call growth. And maybe you were my last shell.
I'm only going to do one. This poem is called Untitled.
It's a good title.
Is it untitled or is it called Untitled?
It's Untitled. And it's called Untitled. It's Untitled.
Interesting.
It's Untitled. There's no title.
Hey, y'all know Kendrick Lamar, that album where he had like Untitled and then just
Yeah.
That's how it was for real.
This is just dated back to whenever Queen and Slim came out. Back then. Your imagination's not big enough for me. Black boy, did you forget how to dream? My dreams are massive. I could dream for you. Ooh, I dream for you. As big as Texas, I built a home with a song for you. Can you hear it? Big porch with rocking chairs to match porch swaying with the summer breeze. We watch as our kids run, flip, chase after each other. Can you see it? Me still loving you with this dream. Would you believe me if I said that I believe in these things every time my eyes catch yours as if it's our last gaze? Can you feel it? This feeling that dreams don't exist without you, boy. I dream for you. My dreams for you are bigger than us because our kids are proof. Legacy with your last name on it. You see what dreams will do. A love amongst all the strength it took to get to this place, to be in this space with you. Imagine us not breathing the same air each day. If our eyes locking wasn't okay, if close wasn't routine for us, could you imagine that? I don't want to grasp any other concept in what we have, so I won't ask. My dreams are proof that I'm in alignment with my destiny because my dreams came true when I dreamed for you. Thank you.
All right, folks, thanks for kicking it with us. I appreciate y'all. Again, if y'all want to follow us on Instagram, it is The Sparrow's Fortune. So TheSparrowsFortune. Y'all know how to spell.
You got it.
Yeah, so again, we created The Sparrow's Fortune ultimately to be a collective of artists who inspire, educate, and encourage our community through arts, entertainment, like y'all just seen today, but also through creative writing workshops. And so we do these creative writing workshops inside schools, after school programs, and also within the community. So on July 10th, I don't know if y'all familiar with Cleveland Larchmont Arts, we have a creative writing workshop coming up. It's next Monday from 6:30 to 8:30. We're going to be hosting it, and it's going to be a good time. So definitely get connected with us. Y'all can also subscribe to our email listserv if y'all go to our website. It's the same thing. Everything's The Sparrow's Fortune. So go to thesparrowsfortune.com. And if y'all scroll down on the contact page, y'all can add y'all email to the email listserv. So that way y'all can stay up to date with all of the cool stuff that we up to. And am I missing anything?
You can follow Darren
Yes, yeah. So, if you liked what you heard from Morgan and I, definitely follow Bear in the Flesh. That's also on Instagram. Definitely grab a book. Definitely go on iTunes, go on Apple, go on Spotify, Tidal, go on YouTube. Actually,
Even
go
if
on
you
YouTube.
don't have money, Michael.
Even if you don't got bread, listen. Go to YouTube, type in Babies.
Go to YouTube,
You can go to YouTube. You can listen for free.
Type in Babies Part 2, The Sparrow's Fortune. That's a whole bunch of stuff, but just type in The Sparrow's Fortune. And you're going to find 2 raw videos. It's me and Morgan, of course. And it's the songs, and you can actually listen to the songs and watch really great visuals, directed by Chris Webb and Kenneth Cody. For the songs that we created.
And you can also listen to the whole album on YouTube.
Yeah, you might as well just listen to the whole album on YouTube too. That's perfectly fine if y'all really want to do that. You know what I mean? And share with your friends. Tell all your homies. Be like, hey, you know Morgan Paige, and just cause. If you don't, let me get you here, and then send it to them. All that cool stuff. That's it. That's all.
We do have a show coming up on July 9th on Sunday, performing some more of the poetry from the book and the album and the show.
Yeah. So if you're free in Cleveland on Sunday at 5 p.m. See, I'm very happy because I be forgetting stuff. But on Sunday, July 9th at 5 p.m., we're going to be doing a show with a collective called Broken English, and we'll be performing some more of these cool poems from the book.
Is that a Facebook presence? That event?
It doesn't, but you can add me on Facebook and just share it on my page already. So, Calil Cage, CALIL CAGE.
And also, we have an open mic. Calil hosts an open mic. It's called Poetry Unplugged. If you ever want to perform, come up to Cleveland. Our open mic where we set up shop everywhere around Cleveland at different organizations and businesses. Everybody's allowed on the mic. The number one rule is respect the mic, so you will be respected when you go up to the stage. Everybody is invited. We are an inclusive open mic. And we have an event tomorrow, July 6th, from 7 to 11 p.m. And we have them every 2 weeks. So you can follow our page at poetry.unplugged, or you can just hit us up and then we'll send you that information too, because it's a lot of information. So.
Yeah, we just said a lot of stuff. But thank you for rocking with us, though. Is there anything else I'm missing?
No.
All right, well, thank y'all. Appreciate it. Clap it up for yourselves. And clap it up for your dope poets, because each one of y'all came up and said something that really spoke to me, so I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And clap it up for Keith, because he the one who got us in the spot. All he got us right now. All right, that's it, gang. We're good.
All right. Come back next month. Rachel Wiley's feature next month.